Hi and welcome back. So today I'm on day 3 of my challenge, and the challenge is to do a sketch a day. So today I am choosing a little scene from my time down the coast, and these couple of cranes really caught my interest. This was just looking out from where we were staying in a cabin out onto the inlet, and the bird life was just fantastic down there. There were black swans, there were beautiful lorikeets and parrots, and these white cranes were everywhere, and they were just so interesting to watch. These two look like they're talking to each other, but they were just looking around, searching for something to eat. And yeah, quite interesting the way they could just walk all the way through the mangrove as well. It was with their long legs. So what I particularly like about this scene is the sparkles on the water of light. The birds themselves are a lovely shape. So I'm going to start sketching, and I don't have lots of time today. Today's Sunday and I think we could be going out soon. So I'm going to do a very quick sketch. And I thought, well, maybe just like a little cameo sketch. Shall I do that? Yes, I think I will. So I'm keeping this quite simple. So I've just got my roll of tape, and let's just do a circular shape. And let's see what I can do here. I'll start with the birds. They've got those long beaks. Very long necks. Such a thin little neck. They look fragile, but they're really quite strong, these little birds. So I'm just doing a line sketch. The legs actually disappear. Now, if I sketch lightly enough, I can just come in and redefine. This one's already got attitude. All right, now this one up here, let's just put this one a little bit higher compositionally. I just like the look of that, and its neck curves around a little bit more. I'm just looking at the shape of the bird. It's a little different to the other one. It's standing differently. Its feet also disappear into the water. Okay, so that's the two birds, and they are standing in front of a mangrove. Okay. So picking up a brush, and I think I'll just go to my Neef Squirrel Mix. It's a Neef brush, size 8. I could use a water pen if I was out and about. Today I'm in the studio. It's a little bit more relaxed in the studio. Okay, so what I'll be painting here, I'm not actually painting the birds, I'll be painting the negative space around. And so I'll be putting in some greens to start off with. Now what I'll do first is spritz my palettes. These are handy little spray bottles. And I'm not even mixing up any further paint. I'm just using what I used yesterday. I'm still in the same area that I've begun painting this challenge. So this is on the south coast. So I want to be careful around the birds. So I'm painting in the negative spaces around. These brushes are great. See how that beautiful tip, you can get right in close to a subject. It's not what I'd be using the flat brush for. I definitely want something with a nice point. Makes life easier. Okay, so I'm painting in a fairly light watery mix to start off with. I think I'll keep within my circle, although I'm not worried if I tend to go out of the circle, that's fine too. Now I'm just trying to get in and around the shape of the birds. This is pen and wash. I've come over that a little bit there, that's okay. I can just wipe that back out again. I'm just bringing some of that green down into the water, just as a reflection. This is my kind of what I call my first wash. Just using what I've got in my palette. I'll just put in a bit of sky just so it looks like there's something there. Okay, So in the water we have a greyed off blue, so I've got some of the Lunar Black and the blue that I mixed up yesterday, and yeah, that's a nice dulled off blue. I find I'm using that Lunar Black quite a bit to mix because it just mixes so well with other colours, and it just dulls it off when I want it not quite so bright. So into that there is a little bit of, I can see a little bit of iridium just in the water. Pop that in for a bit of interest rather than just a straight flat colour. And now I'll start to deepen the greens. So less water, more paint. You can leave a few lights of your first wash underneath. And you can see as you start to paint those negative shapes in the background that the shape of the bird starts to come to life. A bit more darker green shadows here. So I'm just bringing in depth colour. Bit of black into that green because we've got quite a depth of colour up in here. Now as soon as I put these darks in, makes the light jump out. That's why I tend to start off light to start off with, because it's kind of a little bit of a roadmap of where you can go with it. If you start off too dark, straight off, you've got nowhere to go sometimes, and then you're trying to lift it out. Okay. do just want to get a little bit of negative painting in behind the bird so it stands out a little more. Always look at light against dark, dark against light. I've come in with a little bit of brighter green. It's a green apatite. You could use any other green you wished, but it's kind of a favourite colour at the moment. Okay, so it's starting to look okay. There's some trees up into the into the sky. I can just make that with my brush. Okay, a little bit more black in that green. It's quite dark where the mangroves meet water, quite a bit of shadow. Okay, so we have, just wake this up again. There you go. So I'm just looking at the depth under here. Bringing in those ripples into the water. Okay, now I'm just going to pick up some Alvaro Grey in the Daniel Smith and bringing in a little bit of shadow. Beaks have a little bit of pinky brown, so maybe a bit of raw sienna. Right, so what I want to do now is with some white gouache, is bringing a little bit of light into that water, just little speckles of white. Now, there's many ways you could do this. You could use a toothbrush or a stiff brush to splatter, but I find that when I'm travelling and out and about that just isn't possible to do that. In the studio, it's a little bit easier. Some little lights, so why not just pop those in? It's just where the light's hitting the water. Okay, so there's my quick sketch for the day. This gives me plenty of room to write around it. There's so many ways you can work in your sketchbooks, so many different ways. So I'm going to try and do something a little bit different each time. So Trains Day out. So you can embellish, you can stick in, just some bits of paper and things that you might collect along the way. Entry tickets into certain places, you can put all this around. Anything that relates to that day is great to put in your sketchbook. Anyway, enjoy. Thank you.